So today, we're going to dive into a really unsettling pattern, something you see everywhere once you know what to look for. It's this question: why do groups, and I'm talking entire societies sometimes, why do they so often reject the very truths they need to survive? And not just reject them, but embrace the very forces that are going to end up consuming them. We're calling this the Holden Paradox.
Okay, to really get a handle on the stakes here, we have to start in a pretty brutal place. Cormac McCarthy's world. This quote, "War is God," it's not just about, fighting. It's about something deeper. It's about a state of being where reality itself becomes this absolutely ruthless judge, a place where all the comfortable illusions we tell ourselves just get stripped away, bare.
All right, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at a system spinning into chaos. Then we'll meet the two key figures that rise out of that chaos. We'll unpack the big paradox between them, look at a wild strategy to fix it, and then, at the very end, we're going to turn it all back to you. So, let's get into it. Our story starts inside a system that has completely lost its bearings, and we're going to look at the totally predictable and frankly dangerous way the group inside it starts to act. Okay, so this is really the heart of the problem. You get what's called high drift, and what that means is, well, the rules just don't match reality anymore. The collective map that everyone was using to navigate the world, it's useless now. And you could feel it, right? Everyone feels that ground shifting under their feet. And that creates this vacuum, this deep, almost primal fear.
And what happens next is almost like clockwork. The group turns into what we're going to call the scared herd. And a scared herd isn't thinking, it's just reacting. It's like its societal immune system goes into total overdrive. But here's the problem. Its vision is completely blurred. It literally cannot tell the difference between a wolf and just a weird-looking sheep. So what does it do? It attacks anything it doesn't understand. It starts desperately looking for a scapegoat to pin all that fear on.
And right into this mess, this chaos, steps our first major player, an archetype. This is a figure of, frankly, terrifying competence, someone who walks in and offers a very simple, very brutal solution. Think of Judge Holden from Blood Meridian. That's who we're talking about.
The appeal of the Tyrant is actually pretty simple. Imagine you're lost in a fog of ambiguity. It's terrifying, right? And then this guy shows up and offers you absolute, rock-solid certainty. He doesn't ask you to understand all the chaos, he just promises he's going to crush it for you. And that shortcut, man, when you're in a panic, a shortcut like that is incredibly tempting.
Okay, now this is really, really important. To get what makes the Tyrant so powerful, we have to throw out our old definition of a word, alpha. For our purposes today, alpha has nothing to do with being the loudest guy in the room or social dominance. No, it's a functional term. It means you have a deep, functional grip on reality. You have a better, more accurate map of the world than anyone else. It's an informational edge that lets you see the path when everyone else is just lost.
So this is the Tyrant's playbook. He's got this massive, terrifying alpha. He sees the world with a clarity that's almost scary. But does he share it? No way. He weaponizes it. He takes his map of reality and he hides it. He turns himself into an informational black hole so that everybody has to rely on him. See, his goal isn't to lead people out of the darkness. It's to consume their ability to choose for themselves.
But the Tyrant isn't the only one who shows up when things get chaotic. There's another figure, his complete opposite, actually. We're going to call this person the Mapmaker. And the clash between these two reveals this really tragic paradox that sits right at the heart of how human systems work.
So the Mapmaker, they've also got that massive alpha, that same deep grip on reality. But their goal? It's the polar opposite of the Tyrants. They have zero interest in controlling the system. They want to empower it. They see everyone's lost, they see the drift, and their first instinct is to say, okay, let's build a better map that everyone can use. And this quote from The Matrix, it just nails the Mapmaker's entire purpose. It's not about them giving you the answers or telling you which path to take, not at all. Their job is to make the hidden machinery of your reality so crystal clear that you understand why you're making the choices you're making. It's about empowering your own understanding.
So let's just lay it out, side by side. It's super clear. The Tyrant, his goal is compliance. He gets it by hiding the map from you. And the result? He literally consumes your agency, your ability to choose. The Mapmaker, on the other hand, their goal is clarity. Their method is to make all the tough trade-offs visible. And the result? Your agency goes up. One enslaves you, the other empowers you.
Okay, So here it is, the paradox, the big question. I mean, looking at that comparison, it seems like a no-brainer who you'd follow, right? But that's not what happens. The scared herd, nearly every single time, will viciously attack the Mapmaker and welcome the Tyrant with open arms. So the question is, why? Why on earth would a system choose its own predator over its own guide?
Well, the answer really boils down to the herd's fear. The raw, unvarnished truth is like a bitter pill, and the herd just won't swallow it, which means a direct, head-on approach is absolutely doomed to fail. You need a more clever strategy.
Here's the core of the problem. To the scared herd, the Mapmaker's clarity, that incredible grip on reality, it doesn't look like wisdom. It looks like what the source material calls alien conviction. The herd's ancient, baked-in survival instinct just starts screaming, "Whoa! Anyone with that much certainty who doesn't think exactly like us must be a threat." So if you just walk up and hand them the new map, forget it. You've just triggered their scapegoat reflex. They won't just reject the map, they'll run you out of town.
So you can't just storm the castle gates. You have to be smarter. You have to build a Trojan horse. And it's a three-step process. Step 1, you disguise the map. You hide that deep, difficult truth. Step 2, you use that hidden knowledge to solve a totally mundane, practical problem, something the herd already wants fixed. And step 3, you embed the important part, the friction, the accountability, right into the tool itself.
Let me put it another way. You wrap the medicine in mechanics. You don't try to sell them some big philosophical awakening. That'll never work. You give them a tool, something useful, something that saves them time or money or just a headache. The value of the tool is obvious. But here's the clever part. To use the tool, they are quietly forced to confront the very trade-offs they were trying to avoid. They end up swallowing the medicine because they wanted the tasty candy shell it was wrapped in. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly the most important part of this whole thing. Let's make this personal. What does this mean for you? What's your responsibility if you're the one who can see the map clearly when everyone else around you is lost? The term for this is having a sound mind. That's someone with that high alpha, that real grip on reality. And if that's you, well, you're in a tough spot. It's a paradox, really. You can't force people to see the truth, but you also can't just stand by and do nothing. Your job isn't to be a conqueror, it's to be a careful, clever architect. So this is the mandate of a sound mind. Your job isn't to be the hero who swoops in and makes all the choices for everyone. No, your job is to build the tools that make the hard trade-offs impossible to ignore. Your job is to facilitate a transition, not lead a conquest. You have to build that Trojan horse. And maybe the hardest part of all, you have to be okay with being completely misunderstood while you do it.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought, the Holden Paradox. It's not some abstract theory. It's everywhere. You see it in companies, in communities, in entire cultures. So the challenge for anyone out there with a clear view, for anyone with a sound mind, is this. When the very thing a system needs to survive is also the thing it finds repulsive, how do you get it to swallow the medicine? How do you introduce the map without becoming the next target on it? That is the burden and the art of having a sound mind.